beautiful day, if I don't say so myself. I'm excited to see what happens here at the Waterhole. Never sure what may surprise us. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you watching, and a reminder that this is a live and interactive show, so please make sure that you do send through your comments and your questions. I'd love to hear from you. It always makes the show that much more exciting and interesting when I know who's watching with me, where you're watching from, what you're enjoying about the show, and also gives us some interesting discussion points always with the questions that are asked. All right. Well, the sun is shining here in Jamala, but how about we have a look to see what the weather is doing across our other locations? Well, overall, summer is definitely still here, and it looks like a warm day all around with a few showers here or there. In the Lowveld where I am, it's very much overcast today, but quite humid. Still very warm. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Even though the sun is behind some clouds, it still is very warm in this area. All right, well, that one elephant bull has now slowly walked away from Jamala. So we'll keep checking to see if the elephant herds do return here. But for now, let's head over to Juma and see what's happening over there. Oh, this is definitely one of my favorite locations just because of all the bird calls, everyone. It is a feast for the ears here at Juma. And we have a hippo in the water looking very much like a rock, other than the odd bubble and ripple that come out from under the water every now and again. Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much. It is good to be here. I'm looking forward to the day, and thank you for being here. It's great to have you with us as well. You can hear plenty of weavers chattering away in the background. And the sort of harsh sound is often from weavers building their nests. on returning to the... Oh, there's a big grey animal in the bush there. We have an elephant that is feeding, perhaps making its way slowly down towards the water. As I mentioned, in the Lowveld, I'm not too far away from Djuma itself, and we have quite overcast weather today, still quite warm. So, although it's not beating down in heat, this elephant may still eventually make it down to have a drink of water if it hasn't done so already. Just before we saw the elephant, I was going to say that on arriving back to the Lowveld yesterday, it was unbelievable to notice how much more, not only green, but how everything had grown so thick in the bush in the last 2 weeks that I've been away. It is now, the grass is about as high as my shoulder, and everything is just bursting with life. It really is beautiful, but very, very thick and green at the moment. Very easy for something like an elephant to disappear quite quickly. Ricky and Raptor, hello and good morning to you as well. You are also saying hello to the hippo, and you are asking us to please send some warmth your way. You are watching Wild Earth from below 0 degrees. Oh my word. I do hope you have a fireplace going, some hot chocolate, or plenty of blankets around to keep you warm. I can't even imagine what that must feel like sitting here in nearly 30 degrees Celsius. Hi, Alan. Welcome. You want to know how much of the day Ellie spent feeding? Um, Alan, it's the majority. Definitely by far most of their day is spent feeding. I'd say anywhere between 16 to 20 hours of their day they would spend eating. It's of course different depending on the availability of food as well as the heat of the day. Meaning that when it's hotter, they would spend more time in water holes or drinking water or splashing around. Whereas in winter, we don't often see them practicing that behavior. They do have times of rest. They generally also slow down. They're feeding at night time usually, but they do definitely still feed and drink and carry on during the night time. So it's by far most of their day they spend eating, Alan. And it's just because they are such a massive mammal, the biggest land mammal that we have here on Earth. And they need a lot of calories to keep their body going. And they eat vegetation, which has far less than something like protein. Therefore, they need to eat a lot of it. There's a white-browed scrub robin calling, as well as tawny flanking prinias, rattling cesticula. Oh, there's quite a large bird flying in the sky there as well. I think they just landed in that tree. It's always tricky to get these birds of prey on screen for you. But it could be Wahlberg's eagles. There is a pair around here very close to this particular waterhole that we do see sometimes. But we'll maybe see if they come a little bit closer. Kate, hello. You want to know if elephants swim? Yes, elephants can most certainly swim. They do enjoy the water very, very much.
As we race towards 2024, we need to repair or replace quite a bit of technical equipment. We'd also like to expand into other wilderness areas, and for that, we need Starlink. We want to make 2024 the best in WildEarth's history. In the next 7 days, we're going to run a donation drive to try and raise $15,000 US. This will go a long way to helping us continue with our mission to connect people with nature.
Well, we've just been checking around the waterhole if there's anything else hiding away that we can spot. But we did find something that might be interesting to you all at home. And there we go. The camera is putting it on screen now. And I wonder if anyone has any idea what's made this white lump on this tree. It's something that we only see in the summertime. And it's a sure sign that summer has arrived, generally speaking. And I've been waiting for us to be able to spot our first one on camera. Now, it's difficult to see from here, but this actually looks like dried shaving cream or perhaps white meringue on closer inspection, almost like the bubbles from a bubble bath. Grace, hello, you have said that it is from frogs, and you would be right. In fact, one specific frog in particular, and that is a foam nest tree frog or grey tree frog, and named after these nests that the females create out of foam. It's actually incredible to see. And the outer layer actually hardens and forms a crust, which allows the protection for what's inside. Now, this is something that is created by this specific type of tree frog. Jamie, you wanted to know how the frogs get up there? Well, they simply just hop up. They are quite, actually, for frogs, quite terrestrial. You can often see foam nest frogs all over at the lodges where I've worked. Sometimes we had it on the welcome sign, or sometimes you have it outside your room or on your door frame or something like that. So they actually are quite terrestrial for frogs. They don't have to live in water permanently, this specific species. And so they would have just climbed up on the log and gotten to this particular point. The female will choose a spot that is generally overhanging water. When the male then attaches to her and stimulates the release of eggs, she'll then have a secretion that comes out of her, what's called a cloaca, which she will then rub with her hind legs, the secretion which forms this foam. And the eggs are then inside of this foam. So the eggs would have been laid covered with this foam for protection and incubation. After about 4 to 6 days, could just be over a week or so, depending on the temperatures. Those eggs have then turned into tadpoles, and when that happens, the tadpoles break out and they will drop into the water. And that's why it's important that wherever the female chooses, it's over quite a significant water source that she knows will be there within the next week. It's not going to dry up and disappear, so that her eggs can survive. If she puts it over just a tiny little puddle, it's likely in the heat that that's going to disappear, and then those tadpoles will drop onto hard ground and they won't survive. So that's important. That's why we often see these foam nests overhanging pools and pans and water holes that the tadpoles can drop into once they've developed. So that is the story behind these white blobs of meringue that we see around the bushveld at this time. And it's actually quite an interesting process. It's part of the ecosystems here in the Lowveld. It's a beautiful blacksmith lapwing there, just walking underneath this nest. You can also hear an orange-breasted bushshrike calling, one of my favorite calls here in the bush. Kim, hello, welcome. You say that it is 5:42 p.m. here in the Philippines, and it's now probably 5:52 p.m. in the Philippines, but a very warm welcome to you, Kim, and I'm so glad that you are joining us all the way from there. I do hope that you are enjoying the show.
The world is celebrating Trivia Day, and WildEarth wants to share little trinkets of knowledge with you.
Poison is something, if you ingest, will kill you. Venom has to be injected.
Come along for a hilarious day and be entertained with our team trivia. Our expert naturalists across locations will pair up and compete in wildlife trivia in a battle to be the smarty pants of the safari. Don't miss out on the action. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Oh, hello, Mr. Hippo. Showing us your face very briefly. It does always amaze me just how much that looks like a rock. And sometimes you find something like, for example, a grey heron sitting on there, and then you even think it's more likely a rock. But then the heron gets a free ride from one side of the waterhole to the other, and you very quickly realize that this is not a rock, but the back of a hippo moving. It gets even more interesting when the hippo is completely under the water, but the bird's still standing on them, and it looks like the bird is walking on water. Lily, hello. Thanks for sending through your question. You want to know what happens if a hippo dies in a waterhole? Lily, not very much. It will decompose in the waterhole, and that will nature will take its course, as it were. You may find that if there is a crocodile around in the waterhole, it will then start to feed on the carcass. You may find something like lions coming to drag it out, and then once it's out, perhaps hyenas coming to eat off of it. Even they themselves, a group of them, would perhaps be able to get it while it's in the water. So basically, nature in various ways will actually start to decompose that carcass. Oh, there seems to be a bird there just next to that little pool of water. Looks like something like a heron. Oh, it is indeed. Grey heron. That was the bird I was just speaking about that often likes to sit on the back of a hippo. You can maybe see it to do some hunting here. I think it actually just ate something the way it was moving its throat there. Almost looks like this bird has a little black ponytail at the back of its head, with those two black eye streaks that come down the side behind the eyes and then meet together with a feather at the back. Looks like it's got a little bit of a bald head with two side paths of black hair that meet at the back to form a ponytail. And just have a look how stealthily this bird moves, one foot and the next foot, hardly disturbing the water. And you'll see it's going to lower its head slowly, 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 almost unnoticeably, until it's close enough to go for its prey, if there is something that it's eyeing out. And that's their strategy. In comparison to something like we see a spoonbill or a yellow-billed stork that is constantly moving in the water, moving their beak side to side, hoping that something will swim in between the two halves of its beak so that it can close it quickly and grab whatever is moving in the water. The heron uses a more strategic and stealth-like approach. and it's waiting to pick up any sort of movement, anything that it can eye. Oh, there we go. See how quickly it dropped its head there. I don't know if it actually got anything, maybe something very small that it was able to swallow straight away. I see there's a terrapin moving just to the left of the heron, sort of behind the tree now, but it is also coming in and out of the water. We've got a live hunt on the go here, everyone. Jackson, you say an expert fisherman? Absolutely. I think herons really are, especially this particular grey heron, now just moving behind the tree, unfortunately. It might come back, but that was very cool to see and give you all an idea of something a little bit different today. The grey heron fishing. Veronica, hello. You want to know what are the common birds that we find in the area? Oh, Veronica, there are very, very many of them. Some of the ones just on the top of my head: rattlings, testiculars, white-browed scrub robins, red-billed buffalo weavers, green wood hoopoes, African hoopoes, grey heron, like we just saw. Yellow-fronted canaries, blue waxbills, crested francolin, as well as Swanson spurfowl are very common, and Natal spurfowl. Oh, they are just, the list is endless, really. And obviously some are a lot rarer. So speaking of about common birds, I would say there's probably 70 to 100 what I would consider common species that you would be able to see on one sort of birding day out. And now in summertime, we have the migrants. So common migrants to see would be something like Deirdre's cuckoo, Levalin's cuckoo, Jacobin's cuckoo. You'll often hear the red-chested cuckoo, or in South Africa known as the Pygmy fro bird. Difficult to see those, but very common to hear them. Also the orange-breasted bushwhack that we heard calling, not a migrant that's here all year round, but we only really hear them calling in the summertime for the most part, due to their breeding and mating taking place then. Another very common migrant would be the woodland kingfisher. Beautiful bright blue bird with a orange and black bill, or red. All right, well, we're going to keep our eyes on Juma, see if anything pops out here that is of interest. But for now, let's head back over to Jamala and see what's come down to the waterhole. And here we have some Emmys who have arrived, everyone. I was hoping that they would make an appearance. Was sure that that wasn't the last elephant we were going to see today. There also are some zebras there just on the left-hand side, standing together. But lovely to see a herd here. There's a little one just on the right there in between all of the bigger ones. That little one is now completely sat down in the water and is having a wonderful splash, cooling down. They look so clumsy in the water. Grace, you say, oh, nice, elephants. It's rather nice, isn't it? I just love when they roll around like this and just have a swim and have fun and play in the water, especially the little ones love to do it. Rosie, you from the USA, and you say you love the baby elephants. Me too. And it's my favorite time of the day when the Eddies come up to play. It just puts such a big smile on my face. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just them having such a fun time. And the little ones all like to play with each other. And even sometimes we see the bigger elephants sit down and try and relive their baby elephanthood.
As we race towards 2024, we need to repair or replace quite a bit of technical equipment. We'd also like to expand into other wilderness areas, and for that, we need Starlink. We want to make 2024 the best in WildEarth's history. In the next 7 days, we're going to run a donation drive to try and raise $15,000 US. This will go a long way to helping us continue with our mission to connect people with nature.
Derek, hello. You want to know if elephants can evolve to not have tusks? Derek, it is possible. It is something that all depends on genetics. So I don't know if evolve is necessarily the word to use. However, they may the genetics may change in a way due to the genes of the tusks no longer being available in an area. For example, in an area called Addo in South Africa, there was a stage where many elephants were poached and killed. And so they were down to a very small group of original, I think it was about 8 elephants. And due to inbreeding, the tusk genetics were diluted, and therefore the elephants that are there have no to very small tusks. So what's happened is they've tried to introduce new elephant bulls and that sort of thing to try and diversify their genetics again. But to a point where every elephant will never have tusks, I can't say that for sure, but with elephants still having tusks today, and there being elephants with very large tusks, it seems unlikely that they would, in, in, in terms of evolution, therefore choose to not have tusks when the tusks benefit them. for protection, as well as using them to, you know, let's say break off bark or dig here in the soil. So, unless it was due to genetics and the human influence of actually removing elephants with tusks, so that the only elephants that left to breed, have no tusks, we would always find elephants continuing to have tusks, um, growing tusks after they're born, because of the benefits that is given to them. But we do find tuskless elephants, whether that is from birth, or whether that is something that they broke off due to injuries later on in their lives. It is, yeah, it's something that they can live without. We've seen elephants be successful, but for example, an elephant bull without tusks can't compete with an elephant bull with tusks, because they can cause a lot more damage with tusks than they can without tusks. Therefore, it's most likely that that elephant bull, unless he's in an area where there is no competition for him, won't be able to breed. And that's sort of nature's way of ensuring that your best genes are passed on. So, like I said, unless it's due to influence of man limiting the tusk genetics to be diversified, it's most likely that elephants will continue to have tusks. Spark Salad, hello. You say, Ellie, pool parties is just the best. They are, aren't they? It has been a lot of fun watching these elephants so far, and these two young bulls are still going at it. Hopefully, we'll have some more come down to start up another pool party. Shiv, you've asked a very interesting question actually, and you want to know if the Ellie's muddying up the water puts off other animals from drinking it. And it is a good question to ask, because we can see, even with these bulls that have been here, they've been kicking their legs back and forth. Sometimes elephants, even on purpose, will use their tusks to bring up more mud so that the water becomes thicker with ground. There, that elephant's actually doing it right now with his foot, so that they can get more mud on their skin. Um, Shiv, no, I don't think so. I think that to a degree, I mean, look, if yes and no. If the elephants create such a sludge that there's actually no water, physical water left, and it's just mud, the other animals are not going to be able to drink it. Well, neither is the elephant, to be honest with you, because now it's just sludge. There's actually no water content there. But for animals, their digestive systems, their stomachs, the way that they're able to actually separate out the dirt from the water, they will happily, you'll see, hopefully we'll be able to see something like zebra or giraffe or something like that come and drink. They generally choose to drink from, if there is a choice, the deeper areas. The elephants love to often mud wallow on the side of the water hole, so the other animals often drink on the far side, for example, or choose an area where the elephants haven't been splashing and muddying about. So there is some sort of influence. I think the animals are aware, oh, this is a lot grittier than what we usually drink. But if it's desperate times, they will definitely drink what is available, even if the elephants have muddied up the water.
Our UK family is important to us. WildEarth is making your viewing experience more convenient with a time shift that will see a delayed start. Our sunrise safari will now be broadcast at UK sunrise times. Don't miss a moment of your favorite shows. To watch it live, go to the WildEarth app or website.
Incredible.
WildEarth, connecting you to nature. It's quietened down here quite a bit with the Ellies now out of the water.
And these two bulls coming for a fresh drink. Bilbo Baggins, hello and welcome back. It's good to hear from you. You want to know if Jamala means anything in English, and indeed it does. I believe, I stand to be corrected, that Jamala is actually a Swahili word that is the native language of Kenya, and it means a natural elegance. So the lodge that overlooks this particular waterhole is called Jamala, and I think that is why they chose it. And there we have some zebras slowly but surely making their way to the water. And animals are always so cautious when approaching water holes, as they are quite exposed out in the open. I think sometimes the animals that come to this water hole are also just aware of the elephants. I've seen so many times here at Jamala some of the younger elephants coming to chase things like zebra, giraffe, even a buffalo once away from the water, just because think they're very young and strong and like to throw their weight around, intimidating the smaller animals. But hopefully the zebra will come. They've been standing here for a while. I'm not sure if they drank earlier, but I think as soon as one starts, we may get the rest of the herd joining it. Oxpeckers also using the opportunity to have a drink of water. There's one just landed on the zebra on the right. It was forming a big black patch between its stripes, and every now and again hops down and also has a drink of water. Oh, that little baby Ellie just went straight into the water and collapsed. Couldn't wait to cool down. Rosie, I hope you're enjoying this. I know you love the baby Ellies. It's amazing how all of a sudden things have gotten very busy here at the Waterhole. Keegan, you were asking when do I think that these bulls will be ready to leave the herd? Now, if you're referring to the bulls that were drinking here from the Waterhole, in sort of the middle of the screen, or the ones that were playing around earlier, I think they have already left the herd. They were on their own. They may associate with herds briefly at times, but in general, they have formed themselves what's called a bachelor herd. Generally, bulls are sort of kicked out of their natal herds, or sort of start to disassociate with them anywhere from 14, 15 years old, sometimes even younger, depending on the area. And then they push off, and often they stay together, especially if they have a brother. Sorry, not a brother, but a cousin, or another member within the herd of a similar age. And we'll get them finding older bulls to associate and form bachelor herds of their own, Keegan. Oh, that baby is tiny, everyone. Oh my word, it's just standing there below mom now on the far side, and it really, really is small. Like we lost it completely for a while because it was covered in the water. And it's incredible to watch the relationship between a mother and its calf. And that baby will always be by mom's side, just right next to her, knowing that that's where it belongs. And it's one of the reasons that I think many of us love elephants so much is their very much maternal instinct and their focus on their family herds and their need to help and protect each other. And the care they show for their little ones is amazing. You'll find that the little ones are always positioned within a group of big ones. They always try and make sure that it's shielded. Um, and not only its mom, but the matriarch and other members of the herd know that they need to help the young ones. We definitely have another pool party going on here in the mud, everyone. There's two sort of, they're young elephants, but they're not baby babies that are now completely covered with mud, having the best time. That little one is now suckling from mom, having some milk. At that sort of age, they wouldn't be solely based off of vegetation and water. They would still get the majority of their nutrition from suckling from mom. An elephant's calves can suckle all the way up until 3, 4, 5 years old. Lucy, you asking when the breeding season of elephants is? Elephants don't have a strict breeding season. So we don't have a specific time that all the females will go into estrus and the males will mate with them. Their breeding happens throughout the year, although there is a tendency to see more babies around in the summertime just due to food availability. However, you can see baby elephants throughout the year of different sort of ages. Some of the ones now that are 6 months old would have been born during the winter time last year. Oh, those little ones are having such fun now. All the cousins are together and playing.
For those in the wet and cold this festive season, transport yourself to a warm and sunny Africa. With virtual safaris in real time. Interact with African naturalists, connect with fellow nature lovers across the globe, fall in love with nature, and join the WildEarth family this festive season. WildEarth, connecting you to nature.
Well, the zebras are slowly trying to come back to finish off their drink of water, I think. Oh, there we go. Now that's a good view. Look how much fun they're having. Oh, I hope that little one doesn't get squished. These elephants are having the time of their lives. It really has been so entertaining to watch these three here. Yes, there are three. The one was just completely under the water just now. really a bit of a deep spot here where the elephant's just arrived to have a bit of a scratch on his bum. You could see why they enjoy that particular space, the larger elephants, because they can get deeper in the water. LG7, hello. You want to know if the elephants ever go right up to the lodge that's here? Yes, we have. I have seen them go right up to the fence. There is an electrocuted. Yeah, I think so. An electrified, sorry, fence that does run around the lodge so that the elephants don't get in to cause damage, which is one of the biggest things, that an elephant will just be an elephant and it will easily push over some trees or break open some water pipes. And of course, then for safety of guests as well. But yes, I have seen them sometimes walk right up to the fence to eat grass and that sort of thing. Sometimes even we see elephants stick their trunk over to eat a overhanging tree or something like that that's right next to the fence line. This elephant is amazing. Enjoying a bit of fun here at this. I'm not sure if it's a rock or some hardened ground, but he's having a great time. Just a reminder to everyone that we are coming up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Central African time. And that is when Africa is going to join the show, as well as if you are watching on YouTube, to make sure that you go to our WildEarth app or onto the WildEarth website, or if you're in the UK, you can continue watching on Freeview, or in South Africa on DSTV channel 183.
We all know the struggle of finding the perfect gift. But what if you could give them an unforgettable experience? Something truly extraordinary. Introducing Nature Eye. Fly a real drone remotely at iconic locations, witnessing the beauty of nature like never before. Sign up to be an explorer and you could win one of these experiences yourself. Visit natureeye.com today.
Well, it looks like everyone heard that the party was on, and it is so good to have these Ellies here now arriving and enjoying some time at the Waterhole with us. Well, we have a lot of Ellies that are deciding to cool off here. Doing some synchronized swimming, it looks like. But this is just wonderful, everyone. This is what we hope will happen every day. And today we're being treated by these elephants that are just doing their thing, but provides us with endless entertainment, especially the sounds. I love listening to the sounds of elephants at the waterhole, splishing and splashing, trumpeting, grubbing. All right. Well, it is now that time, everyone, where we are going to be joined by Africa. So here we go, and I'll talk to you soon.